On this episode of the Bronze Metalist podcast, we talk about Bloodmoon 1 by Converge.
Can't wait for part 2.
And Chelsea Wolfe and Stephen Brodsky with Ben Chisholm. Hi, everyone. Welcome to another episode of the Bronze Metalist podcast. I'm Cale.
I'm OJ.
We're two professional broadcasters, and we like metal, and we like to talk about it.
Yes.
And today, we're talking about it's technically Converge's 10th studio album.
Right.
I think this is considered a Converge album, officially, as it would seem.
It's
rather
called
than
Converge.
Yes.
Feat. Jasmine Wolfe, or
you keep on.
He was call her Jasmine Wolfe. That's not even Jasmine Wolfe's name anymore.
Yeah, a local artist musician here in Minot. No, Chelsea Wolfe.
Chelsea Wolfe. Yes. So it's Converge and Chelsea Grin and
yep, and Stephen Brodsky and Ben Chisholm. But yeah, it is. It's officially, a Converge album because the project always started as a Converge thing. It was the 7 of them plus Steve Von Till performing slowed down versions of Converge songs in 2016 at Roadburn Festival in the Netherlands. And they did that a few more times, I think. And the only person who didn't come back for this was Steve Von Till because he was busy, being a teacher in Idaho.
And this album, if you played this for me and you said, told me who it was, I'd say, wow, they almost sound like they might have been a metal band at one point. This is so moody and so dark and so ambient.
And I really like that. For them. We'll talk more about this later on. First, how are you doing?
I'm doing pretty good.
Oh, that's good. I don't know what this voice is.
I don't know. He's Mountain Dew. Yep. But I'm gonna get scoped on Friday.
You're having a camera shoved down your throat.
Right. I've had heartburn for over 30 years now.
Yes.
And so my doctor finally, and he's one of these people. He kind of talks like this. Oh, okay. And he says, Owen, I gotta look inside your stomach.
I gotta take a look in there.
This guy gotta find out what's going on.
We gotta figure it out, man.
Because I'm on drugs. I take a pill every morning so that I don't turn into the human volcano.
Yes.
So that I don't vomit magma.
That would be good for you not to do.
Right. I like to avoid doing that. So
you'd be turning into a Dark Souls boss.
Yeah,
vomiting magma everywhere. That's there's a Dark Souls boss called Ceaseless Discharge.
Oh God!
Which it sounds like something else. But I can't remember where the magma's at. I think it's leaking out of his back or something. He's
his ass.
Ceaseless Discharge is a really depressing boss. Because he's just a big, sad, fucked up looking guy. The story behind that is really sad, but he looks sad and in pain when you fight him. And also it's sad because the way the vast majority of people fight him is by triggering his fight and then sprinting back towards the edge of the boss arena, which has a cliff that he will jump off of to try and come at you. And he will his arm, he catches himself on a ledge, and then you just walk up and bop him on the finger and he'll die. He'll fall off the cliff and die. And I don't know if that was a concession because FromSoft couldn't figure out a way to make his real boss fight fun. I did his boss fight the proper way, and it sucks. It's really bad.
It's you're beating up a sad person.
It's not bad because you're beating up a sad person. It's bad because it's fucking awfully designed.
Oh,
it's a really, really bad bot. Dark Souls 1 has a couple of really, really poorly designed boss fights. Ceaseless Discharge is probably the second worst off the top of my head. The absolute worst is his mother, the Witch of Lost Izalith, aka the Bed of Chaos.
Right. The Ample Discharge.
Yes, she
Milky Discharge.
You can't really call her she anymore because she's just a big fucking tree thing. Bed of Chaos is fucking awful. It's really, 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 really bad. It's not hard. It's just stupid and annoying. I despise that. And like part of the reason why it's so bad is because it's at the end of a zone that was like the last thing they could get to. And so they had no budget for it. There was no time and no money left to finish that zone and make things good. So they were like, well, this is here.
We're doing this in 8-bit.
There's the whole, not the area immediately preceding her. That one's okay. But there's like a lava field you have to run across after getting a ring that makes you not die to lava, because in Dark Souls 1, lava actually hurt you, unlike in Elden Ring where it does nothing. In Elden Ring, lava is mildly spicy water that hurts you a little bit.
I've died by lava, I'm sure.
I don't know where you would have encountered lava at any point in your playthrough of Elden Ring so far.
Well, I mean, I've attacked the great worm.
That's different. This is I'm talking about environmental lava, not lava coming out of an enemy.
Yeah,
it's literally only in one area in the game that I know you haven't been to.
The Volcano
Manor.
Yeah, yes. Volcano Manor. Yeah. Which I actually found it is kind of hard to get to a little bit.
Yeah, it's at the top of a mountain.
Yeah.
You know, a volcano. It's a manor in a volcano.
Right. I've experienced rot and poison, but not. Yeah, you're right. I mean, the only magma I've experienced is from getting killed by a worm.
A giant lizard, which used to be a person, by the way. The magma worms. That's what happens when you eat too many dragon hearts.
Really?
Not to you, the player. You can. There's the game caps the amount that you can consume. But in the lore, that's what happens when you consume too many dragon hearts. You turn into a big lizard.
You were iced tea there for a moment.
You know when you turn into
when you eat too many dragon hearts?
Yes, iced tea. And it'd be a weird addiction to have because it's not easy getting those.
It's not.
You have to kill a dragon. So you'd have to be pretty tough to stick with that addiction, I think. Right. I'm addicted to dragon hearts. Holy shit, dude.
Wow.
That's to even pick that addiction up. You had to have killed at least like a couple dragons.
Have you tried cocaine?
That might be more attainable, dude.
Yeah, it might be realistic.
Just chill. Oh, no, the only reason I have the energy to kill the dragons is also the cocaine I'm on.
Right. Okay. Got it. Okay. So this is deeper than you let on at first.
Extremely. I'm addicted to all the things in ascending order up to dragon hearts.
I'm a dragon heartaholic.
I keep on saying dragon hearts, and all I can think of is the movie. All I can think of is Dragonheart.
Yeah. All you think of is dragon that suddenly sounds like Sean Connery.
That movie, you know, I haven't seen it in a while. I have very, very fond memories of that movie.
Yeah, you should hold on to those fond memories.
I think it's one of the I don't think it's been that long since I've seen it. Like it the last time I saw it, I wasn't a kid.
Oh, okay.
And from what I remember, the last time I watched any part of it, I was just like, yeah, you know what? I still like this.
Yeah,
it's not good, but I like it.
It is a charming movie.
It's like Sean Connery as a dragon, I think is neat.
Yeah. I have it on VHS.
I fucking love the soundtrack.
Well, yeah.
The original score is amazing. I like the dude who plays the friar or whatever. I can't remember that actor or his name.
I'm trying to remember his face.
He's been in he was in a bunch of stuff.
Let's just say the last time I watched it, I was watching it on a VCR.
Yes.
So,
I mean, you could theoretically have a working VCR.
Yeah, I did have
watched it yesterday. So that could have happened.
The only thing that's at my now ex-wife's house, There is a working, fairly mint condition VCR there, but the only VHS tapes left in the house is this giant cardboard box full of porn. That's all that's left on. So if anybody wanted to watch a VHS tape, you're going to want to watch, Night Shift Nurses or something.
Some vintage pornography.
Vintage VHS pornography.
Is that the sequel to the System of a Down song? Instead of
violent pornography.
Yeah, instead of violent pornography, it's vintage pornography. That's what Serge has moved on to. Look, he's not a young man anymore.
He's not. He's in his 50s.
He's not all about the violent stuff anymore. He wants the classics.
Yeah. Next thing you know, it's going to be softcore.
So I'm trying to picture in my head Serge Tankian saying softcore pornography.
Slightly nude women.
Slightly nude.
Yeah.
Did they come out with something new, or was that ephemeral once again?
I don't know. I mean, System of a Down?
Yeah.
I know Tool came out with a new album.
I could have swore it was like at the same time the two of them announced that they were doing something, and everyone who are fans of both bands went, there's no way that's going to come out. And then the Tool album did come out.
Right.
But I don't know if System of a Down is actually doing so. I could have swore I heard that they were.
Yeah, I heard a rumor about it too. I never saw anything.
I thought there was an announcement. Benefit singles and possible 6th studio album 2022 present. Let's see. Yeah, they're apparently, the gist that I'm gathering is that they apparently were like, yeah, we might work on something. we're together and there's some jamming, but yeah, I'm not sure if they are.
And as I recall, there was some political issues with their drummer.
I don't recall what those were about, but
yeah, I remember, Serge and Darren are very, they're progressives or whatnot.
Yes.
Was doing stuff like that. And then their drummer was not.
That happens sometimes. Yeah, I don't know. I'm not really a huge System of a Down fan.
Right.
There's a lot of late 90s, early 2000s like alternative metal that I kind of don't have any interest in. And it's a lot of stuff that like immediately precedes my time. And when I started listening to that, music in that general sphere, there's a lot of stuff in there that I just am not all that interested in.
I liked it because it was weird and different. I mean, it still had the heaviness was still there, but then occasionally it was, what the fuck?
What is that?
I don't know what I'm listening to right now.
Yeah, it's like that, like a lot of alternative metal, a lot of new metal stuff that is maybe like, I mean, people kind of shit on new metal or whatever, but I think
there was good new metal. There was good in it. I mean, there's good in all.
I think also
genres.
Public opinion on new metal is sort of turning around as the generation that grew up with it is, getting into their 30s now.
Right.
That, the generation that were 10 to 15 or whatever during the 5-year supremacy of new metal, let's call it. Because that's really kind of what it was. It was kind of 2000 to 2005.
Right.
It was sort of the heyday of new metal.
Late 90s.
Late 90s,
yeah.
So it was maybe 7 years. We'll call it 98.
Yeah, because that's exactly the career span of System of a Down.
Yes. 98
was their first album, and then the last things they put out were those 2 albums in 2005.
Yeah. Although I think it's more appropriate to call System of a Down an alternative metal band than straight new metal.
Right.
Not a lot of rap to be found in System of a Down.
No.
Which is more or less a hallmark of new metal.
Because I had a friend who when I worked at KXMC who was really, really hardcore into Limp Bizkit.
And what happened to him? What happened to him? Is he dead now?
He died. No, he's fine. He's
Okay.
yeah. He lives in
Yeah, give us his address, please.
Yeah.
What's his address? What's his social security number?
His address is any EDM concert now. But I mean,
can you give us very specific information on other people from your past?
mother's maiden names?
Yeah.
Sure.
Name of your first pet, that sort of thing. I've got some skins to buy in Fortnite, so I could really use someone else's credit card information.
Sure. Did you know that was a thing? I actually saw. I think it had to have been a joke. It says, somebody's stealing your identity right now. Just fill in your social security number, your mother's maiden name right here to find out if your identity is being stolen.
Clever. Very clever. Speaking of spending money on stuff, it's the Steam summer sale right now.
Is it?
And I bought one thing. Mm-hmm. I bought the game King Arthur Knight's Tale, which is a top-down isometric sort of squad-based strategy game, but with medieval, Arthurian knights and whatnot. Mm-hmm. It's an interesting setting in the sense that it's like a very, high fantasy version of Arthurian legend.
But in that StarCraft format.
that would be a real-time strategy game.
Okay,
this is more like XCOM or something
I suppose.
like that. Very, small squad instead of a big army, essentially. And like the idea behind the setting is that you play as Mordred.
Sure.
After you have killed King Arthur, but it was a mutual kill. Like you killed him, he killed you, and then you both, or more or less, both of you come back to life in Avalon, and shit's all fucked up because for some reason Arthur dying was a really bad thing cosmically. Mm-hmm. And it's not clear why, but it's fucked up some shit. And so the Lady of the Lake was basically like, Mordred, this is your fault. Fucking fix it. And so you take over Camelot and you've got to gather your knights and, do all these quests. It's sort of like kind of RPG like as well. All kinds of different, sort of blending of genres. It is also massively unoptimized. Mm-hmm. I guess I didn't look at how big it was while I was downloading. It's fucking 120 gigabytes.
Wow.
For a type of game that should be at most like 30.
Wow.
I don't know how the fuck it is anywhere near as big as it is. And it also still, and it's not a pretty game. The graphics are not great. The textures are not great. Like, really? I have it set on ultra and it's ugly. But like I still get like stuttering issues and some lag and stuff. And it's weird. Like, how is this game this big and this, taking up this much space? But also it's weird. But it is fun. Mm-hmm. There's a lot of, like, it's clear that like, this probably didn't have a very big budget. Mm-hmm. The voice acting for the vast majority of the NPCs is awful. It's really bad for some of them, but entertainingly so. The game has a lot of charm to it, in addition to having a pretty fun core gameplay. Like like squad-based strategy games are kind of a happy place for me where I can kind of, like, oddly enough, I can kind of turn my brain off a little bit, which doesn't seem like it should be the thing for a strategy game. Like, I think it's because it's slowly paced, so things don't really make me mad. It's another reason why I really like Baldur's Gate and stuff. Or at least Baldur's Gate 3. I haven't played the original 2 because the original 2 are old as fuck.
Are games on, I don't know this because I really don't have any PC games. Are games on PC any bigger than console games, or is it
not necessarily? Not necessarily. I mean, that's not a question. I don't know. I don't really know enough to accurately answer that question. I would assume no, generally,
because I have like games on your PlayStation.
It's yours.
All right. Thank you. But
I gave it to you.
There are games on there that are huge. So like we talked about
Fortnite?
Fortnite. Sure, it's a good
I don't know
example,
if Fortnite is. I don't know how much space Fortnite takes up.
It
shouldn't.
It's like 50 gigabytes.
Yeah.
Minecraft?
You made a motion like you were swinging a pickaxe. Elden Ring.
I was swinging a sword.
Yeah, Elden Ring's not particularly big.
It's not particular, but you would think it would be bigger than, say, a top-down strategy game.
I don't really understand how it works in game development other than there are some resources involved in making the game smaller and optimizing those processes. And by having them take up more space, you don't have to do that work. I think one of the most egregious offenders over the last couple of years was Call of Duty Warzone, which I think ended up like ballooning up to like somewhere around 200 gigabytes.
Just silly.
It's fucking insane how big that game got. And it's like, did you put no effort whatsoever into optimizing this shit? Contrast that with like Skyrim. Skyrim is like 20 gigabytes, something like that. Like Skyrim's not. I remember installing reinstalling Skyrim at some point, or I don't remember what I was doing, but it was some Bethesda games, and it was like, all right, it's gonna start downloading. Oh, and we're done. Oh, okay. It's like that was really quick. I think I might have been installing it onto my hard drive from the disc on my Xbox, which was a thing that one would do on, at least I would do it on my Xbox 360 because it would, generally speaking, shorten load times.
Sure.
Because it wouldn't have to read info off of the disk. It'd just be like, all right, you still needed, the weird thing is you still needed to put the disk in the system.
That's a copyright protection thing. That's so you have to you better own this game.
Yeah.
So you're not handing it off to your friends and everybody's sticking the game in.
Yeah. DRM bullshit.
Right.
Which I mean, I don't know if Microsoft still fucking sells discs, but
I think they do.
So I remember it being a big deal. The dual reveals of the Xbox One and the PS4. Mm-hmm. I remember it being a big deal that Sony was like, we don't, you can give your disc to your friends and they can play that and download the game off of that disc and it's fine, and you don't like it. It was that sort of thing. Mm-hmm. And actually, I don't think like Xbox 360 games actually had like you could give a disc to another person and they could play that copy of the game.
Sure,
it wasn't anything like that. It was just, I don't know why. I think the reason why like you had to put the disc in the game to play the installed version on your hard drive was probably just some stupid bullshit rather than any kind of like business decision, because I absolutely bought discs from my friends and played secondhand. GameStop. Sure. Their whole business model in that era was, we'll buy your used games. Mm-hmm. So obviously it couldn't have worked. Now it became a problem because so many game companies started doing DRM shit. And so GameStop needed to basically purchase like new activation keys from those companies and stuff. And there are a wide variety of reasons why GameStop went out of business. Well, I guess they haven't yet.
One here.
I don't know how the fuck they're still in business.
They diversified,
I guess.
I mean, that's like 30 Rock. Have you ever been to 30 Rock games?
No.
You go in there and sure, they have a whole lot of used games, but they also have a whole lot of used movies. They have a whole lot of like gaming related swag, like art and.
That started to be a thing when I was in college at GameStop, where suddenly GameStop became the Funko Pop store.
Yeah.
The third one in the mall, because you could also buy all of the same ones at Hot Topic,
right? And
probably at Spencer's. I don't know. I haven't so much as looked inside of a Spencer's in at least a decade, so I don't know what's in there. What's in there these days?
It's just this shy of a head shop now. I mean, you can buy stuff that maybe you could smoke weed out of, and other things that proclaim that you smoke weed. Here's my coffee cup that I drink coffee out of while I'm smoking weed.
So
yeah,
just so you know, people seeing my coffee cup,
right?
I smoke weed. That's a fashion thing that I don't understand. Like even I just don't know.
Mm-hmm.
It's odd. Like maybe it's slightly hypocritical as someone who occasionally wears band t-shirts, but it's like, do you really need to advertise to? Because like at least with the band t-shirt, there's some knowledge that could like, okay, I bought this and some money of mine is going to the band that this shirt represents because I like them and I want to give them money so they keep doing the thing I like.
Right.
If you're buying a shirt that's like, I smoke weed, you're not giving money to the concept of smoking weed, at least unless you're buying it from like someone who's doing like a fundraiser for, supporting pushing a bill through state legislature.
Or if you're buying it from a dispensary. Say you bought a shirt from like Cure Leaf over here.
Yeah.
Yeah, I want to buy this shirt that says I heart weed and the
money goes to them.
Right.
So they can keep selling weed.
Yeah.
Which I guess that's all right. But you're not doing that when you buy it at Spencer's.
No.
That's not the case when you buy it at fucking Spencer's.
It is not.
You're not supporting anything good by buying shit at Spencer's.
No.
At least to my knowledge. Maybe the Spencer's company has a lot of really dope charitable foundations that they're real quiet about. Like
charitable.
Hey, like Little Caesars. Little Caesars,
right.
That company donates all kinds of money to some pretty cool charities, which is a good enough reason to buy the pizza. The pizza. Right. I think Little
Plus
Caesars.
It's cheap and I like it.
It's cheap as hell and it's not bad.
It's not bad at all.
I don't know if I'd call, I wouldn't call Little Caesars good pizza.
No.
But sure as shit isn't bad.
No, it's not bad. And for the price, damn.
People who don't, I've noticed something is that like people who don't like Little Caesars are so fucking mad about it. Like if you breathe, if you inhale and the exhalation of your breath involves uttering the phrase Little Caesars, their like fucking spidey sense goes off and they're gonna go on a 15-minute rant about how much they hate Little Caesars and how bad it is. It's like, my dude, relax. It's $5 pizza. Why are you mad about $5 pizza? It's not going to be gourmet shit.
No.
But also, it'll feed you.
Yeah.
For $5 a pizza.
Well, look, is there bread? Yeah. Is it good bread? It's okay. Is there cheese? Yeah. Is there pepperoni? Yeah. Is there sauce? Yeah. Well, fuck, I don't care what it is.
You know what else there is?
What?
There's crazy bread. And that is good.
That is very good. They're crazy bread.
Their crazy bread's fantastic. So, yeah, I have a couple of friends who are just absolutely vitriolic in their hatred of Little Caesars, and I don't get it.
Anybody I know?
No.
Oh.
No one you know.
So I was going to say, we should get shirts.
That just say we love Little Caesars.
Yeah, pizza.
They are both mutual friends of Matt and myself as well. And he's very much with us on the Little Caesars train of like, Little Caesars is great.
Yeah.
So anyhow, we should talk about the album we came here to talk about. So the album was Bloodmoon 1.
Bloodmoon 1.
Because I assume that they probably are going to be making more. I would love to hear, because I don't think I've ever really heard any of the Bloodmoonified versions of their old songs, because these are all new recordings. And part of the idea of like the original, getting together this group of musicians was performing Converge songs that had already been written at that point as sort of these kind of, darker kind of gothic sort of post-rock inspired compositions. And I would love to hear versions of those older songs because it's stuff that's more along the lines of a couple of songs on Axe to Fall that we listened to, which was Wretched World, and the song before it, which I love but can't remember the name of at the moment. I'm about to find it. The song is Cruel Bloom, which has Steve Von Till on it. And like the Blood Moon essentially is like, if you've not listened to this but have listened to Axe to Fall, it's like it's those two songs but a whole album.
Right.
And mix in influence from, obviously, Chelsea Wolfe's a part of the project, her longtime collaborator, sometimes bandmate. Ben Chisholm is on the keyboards here. God, there's a lot.
I've been on his trail.
The Chisholm Trail?
Yeah.
I don't know what that is.
Yeah, never mind.
Okay. But yeah, this is an interesting beast in regards to Converge's discography, because it sounds, it does sound wildly different from a lot of stuff that they have done, but not so wildly.
Right. If you hear this, you go, oh, yeah, that's Converge.
Yeah.
At least in parts.
It's pretty hard to It's also very hard to mistake Jake Bannon's voice as anybody else, because no one else sounds like him, especially when he gets going. Like, his screamed vocals just sound so painful,
which is what makes them good.
Yes, and unique. But like, this is, like I said, it's very much in the line of a number of songs that they've recorded. There's kind of a trend on a lot of their albums to have at least one like slower, very moody track on the vast majority of their albums, whether it's, the closer on like Jane Doe or what is it? Dead Heart Black Rose, I think, is it, on No Heroes, and so on and so forth. They have a lot of songs like that, at least one on every album.
And this is sort of the inverse of that.
Yeah, this is the whole thing. And actually, there's no fast song.
But
there's 20 seconds of a fast song at the beginning of the second track. And then it becomes something else.
Yeah.
But for this, they brought in, again, the original lineup in 2016 was Converge. So 4 members of Converge, which is Jake Bannon, Kurt Ballou, Ben Collar, and Nate Newton. And then they also brought in their friends, which was Chelsea Wolfe, who's a sort of her trajectory and her genres kind of sort of mixes like gothic, bit of doom metal in there, folk metal, or not folk metal, just folk music in general, sort of mixing very kind of dark folk, I'd call it.
Melancholic folk,
melancholic and bits and pieces of doom metal. I haven't listened to much Chelsea Wolfe at all, so this is just, what I've read more or less.
Right.
Her collaborator, Ben Chisholm, who I believe was the keyboardist here, and then Stephen Brodsky from Cave In, and had also played in Converge at one point. And they're friends and have been collaborating on stuff for many, many years at this point. And it comes together for this really, really interesting sound.
Yeah. Where is Converge from?
Salem, Massachusetts.
Okay. So they're the same area as Cave In. So
yes, they're all from the Boston area, the greater Boston metropolitan area. But the sound on this, God, what would you call that? Like, it's kind of gothic doom, but also,
I don't know.
It doesn't fit anywhere, and that's fine. But yeah, it's hard to really truly describe the sound of this. It is quite gothic sounding most of the time. Right. Pretty doomy, but not in like it's not gothic doom in the way that Typo Negative is gothic doom. It's Converge doing gothic doom. That's the best way I can describe it.
Yeah, there's a lot of songs on here where in my head I just get the picture of a woman's lips with blood on them. That's what I see in my head.
I haven't watched the actual music video, but like stills of photos they took of the group of them together. That's basically kind of the getup that Chelsea Wolfe was doing.
Sure,
so it's dark lipstick and a witch outfit, and the rest, and the guys are just wearing what they normally wear. But that might actually just be what Chelsea Wolfe normally wears as well. I don't really know. But this is a very interesting. So on vocals, you have Jacob Bannon doing when Jacob Bannon does clean vocals, they're always these extremely understated, very raspy vocals that he does. He does a lot of that. He has a side project called Wear Your Wounds, where he does most of that. A lot of kind of spoken word-esque stuff. Then you have Chelsea Wolfe doing 90% clean vocals basically is what she's doing. She does
a real raspy thing in here too, though.
Yeah, at the end of the first song.
Yeah.
And then you have Stephen Brodsky providing some more melodic male vocals. And I think occasionally a scream or two. And then Nate Newton also backing up with some scream vocals every once in a while. So lots of different vocals going on. And then there's just Ben Kohler in the back just doing his thing on the drums. As usual. He's not getting involved with that microphone.
Yeah, guys don't even look at me. I'm just back here.
He's the Bill Kelleher of this lineup. Although that's not true, because Bill does provide vocals on a couple of songs, as not any sort of. He's only there as backup,
right? Then you wouldn't know it.
Yes,
you can't really pick him out.
I think actually the only one that I'm aware of is Blood and Thunder. I think that's the only song they regularly perform that he does any kind of vocals on, versus everyone else in Mastodon who sings.
Everyone else,
which is everyone else in Mastodon. But that's Ben Collar and Converge. It's the one who doesn't do any vocals, even though Kurt doesn't really do much vocals at all. He just does some backup stuff here and there every once in a while. But this is. Do you think this slaps?
Yeah, this does slap.
Yeah, I would say so in a doomy sort of way. Although the beginning, like, I love the beginning of Viscera of Men, which is the second track, because you start listening to it and you go, oh, this is just going to be a regular Converge song.
Nope.
No.
No, it is not.
You get 20 seconds of like a regular Converge song, and then it
becomes just doom metal. Yeah.
Way down. And the middle of that, this album is a great time for us to bring out our favorite word, dynamic.
Yes.
Like that song is extremely dynamic. The whole album is very dynamic, but that song probably has the most amount of shifts in it, going from this very fast, very kind of, Converge style late 90s metalcore at the beginning of it, and then shifting to this very moody doom metal, and then turning into a gothic folk song in the middle, which, by the God, that section of the song rocks my fucking world. I love that part of the song.
Yeah.
And especially because I know what comes after it, which is then bringing in like the really gothic stuff with the keyboard and but bringing back the doom metal chugs. God, it's so fucking good. That's a really, really good song. Yeah, there's a lot of great stuff on
There's
here.
a lot of great. So what is your favorite song on here?
Well, we skipped past the score, which is, by the way, an 89 on Metacritic.
Sure.
My favorite song is Crimson Stone.
Crimson Stone, yes. That's the second to last song, right? Yeah.
Just a big, huge.
Just beautiful. The harmonies in there.
It's gorgeous. It's a beautiful song, and I put "or" at the end of it, or Viscera of Men, because God, that song just rocks my fucking world. I love that. What's your favorite song?
Well, actually, I loved those songs as well. But I also really loved Coil, which is the third track.
Coil is great.
Coil is fucking awesome. And,
Coil is really, really good.
And Lord of Liars, I think, it's the name of the song.
I'm trying to remember that one. That is one of the songs, but I'm trying to remember exactly what that one is. Yeah. I also like, because it's a song that really stands out from the pack, is Failure Forever. That's a very Brodsky led one that I think I haven't listened to enough Cave In. Again, going back to a couple of weeks ago.
I've only heard that one album for the most part.
Haven't listened to enough Cave In, but I imagine it's more what certain parts of their discography kind of sounds like. And I remember reading interviews when this came out back in November, talking about how like every member of the project sort of had their own tracks that they kind of brought their own thing to. Like they all collaborated together on everything, but there are certain tracks where some of them absolutely sort of took the lead and are like, and really brought their own style to it. And it felt to me like maybe that was kind of a very Stephen Brodsky forward kind of song. And it sounds a little bit more like some of the stuff on Heavy Pendulum, a little bit.
Sure.
But yeah, Failure Forever, I think is I like it just because it really sticks out.
Right.
It really sticks out compared to a lot of the rest of the stuff. Then you got Scorpion Sting, which is I think a very Chelsea Wolfe song. And she does, most of the lead vocals on that. It's a lot of these are just really, really good.
Except where, when he breaks in with "Get over here."
Get over here.
Yeah. Yeah.
I know you were doing a Mortal Kombat thing, but what popped into my head was Dio going, "Look out!" I don't know why, but it just immediately popped into my head.
I hope there's like some B movie that never got released to theater that actually has a cameo from Ronnie James Dio.
Him going,
there's something's coming down a hill.
Look out!
Look out!
That should have been like a cameo in an episode of Metalocalypse or something.
Yeah.
When like there's, one of the terrible disasters that befalls every one of their live shows happens and Ronnie James Dio has a vocal cameo. I think he might have had a vocal cameo in Metalocalypse, but it wasn't that. Like almost every prominent metal musician had some cameo in Metalocalypse at one point or another.
Wait, I'm trying to remember the time frame when that show was on the air.
It's like 2005 to 2010.
Okay. Yeah, because I think RJ died in 2010.
Okay, somewhere around that time frame.
Sure.
But just about every prominent metal musician had some sort of cameo in Metalocalypse. And then you have George Fisher as the metal masked assassin. But, this album that we're talking about, it's so fucking good. It's so good.
It is.
One thing that like the ending part on the guitar for Crimson Stone really reminded me of. There's a guitar tone that they have on there, which it's 6-string stuff because I don't think anyone involved in the project plays anything bigger than a 6-string. But there is a Mick Gordon track for the DLC for the first of the new Wolfenstein games. That's a like metalified version of The Partisan by what's the folk artist that popularized the English version? Leonard Cohen, I think. Which was like a French resistance song that was translated, and Leonard Cohen did his version of it. And something about the guitar there really reminded me of the guitar tone in that Mick Gordon one. But that one was almost certainly recorded on an 8-string guitar.
On an 8-string?
Yeah. Because I think this was before he had discovered 9 strings, which is what he used on the Doom soundtracks.
Not a 12-string.
Not a 12-string electric guitars are like it's a different thing.
Well, yeah, it's because you're playing a dual stringed instrument.
They're courses of 2 strings that are tuned to the same thing.
An octave apart.
Versus a 9-string guitar, which is 9 independent strings.
Right.
Of ascending thickness. The top string is basically a bass guitar.
The top string is a piece of intertransatlantic cable.
Yes. And I like that. Some people don't like the sound of like 9 strings or even 8 strings. I would recommend if you're like, God, 8-string guitar, I don't like it. Watch like anything Rob Scallon has done over the last 5 years, and you will see how versatile an 8-string guitar can be and how beautiful they can sound,
and also how extremely talented Rob Scallon is.
It's kind of ludicrous how good he is at guitar or literally anything with strings.
Yeah,
but it's like, I've never played this instrument before, and 5 minutes later he's just playing a song on it. It's like, what the fuck? How do you do that? Me, who can't play any instruments at all, has no musical ability whatsoever. It's very impressive. But enough about that. What medal are you bestowing upon Bloodmoon, like Maskanata to Chewbacca?
This is definitely gold medal.
This is a gold. This is gold worthy for sure. And I really do hope that it's called Bloodmoon 1.
Sure.
Like, come on. There's going to be a 2.
Bloodmoon 33 1/3.
There's I really hope there is a 2, and I would love for them to get Steve Von Till on it as well. I really like his solo stuff. Obviously, I like Neurosis.
Right.
I really hope that they can get Steve Von Till involved, because I think he's just got a really interesting voice, and it also, as a guitar player, they can bring him in as well to bring his own sort of songwriting bits to it.
Just an interesting guy all around.
He's an interesting dude, and I would love his influence on the next record. And I would also love to hear like Bloodmoon versions of other Converge songs.
Sure.
Maybe that would be, if that's the second part and it's not 10 more new tracks from this, I'd still be happy with it.
Sure.
Because I very familiar with Converge's discography. I'd love to hear new versions of those songs from their career.
I'd like to see, like you say, Steve Von Till come back, but I'd like to see as a mutant combination, Steve Von Till Lindemann.
Lindemann, I don't get it.
From Rammstein.
Oh, okay. I don't know really anything about Rammstein, so
no.
That's you looked at me. I mean, it will happen eventually, probably. There's only so many bands in the world.
And the thing is I remember getting the first Rammstein album that I had, back when I had it, over 20 years ago, and then listening to going, oh, this is great, and being like high and drunk, and
and then listening to it sober.
I imagine if I listened to it now, I'd go, yeah, just how very 1997.
Yeah, it's just nothing I've ever heard from them really compelled me to listen to more. Just not my thing. But what you do bring next week will be my thing. What do you want to bring next week?
Next week, well, okay, I had an idea of what I wanted to bring, something that is a long time coming. But I'm going to switch gears because of a word you said too many times during this podcast. A band from the late 80s, from 1988, the album Fool's Game by the band Mordred.
Oh, okay. I didn't say it that many times. Was one time too many?
You said it more than twice.
Okay, that was too many times.
Yeah, too many times for me to go, I got to bring Mordred now.
Okay. Yeah. The band Mordred and the album again?
Fool's Game. I believe it's
Fool's Game by Mordred. What kind of band are they?
They're kind of a funk metal but they're a very heavy funk metal.
Interesting. From when?
1988.
Okay, so this is well pre-Primus.
Yeah. This is a year prior to Primus.
I suppose, yeah. Primus is earlier than I think they are.
Yeah, the first album came out in 89, I think. Yeah.
Okay. So that's it's not too out of time then. For some reason, I think of Primus as being a very firmly 90s band for some reason.
That's when at their height.
Their height, yeah. But okay, Mordred. Next week. Until then, you can find our social media pages on Facebook and Twitter, and maybe follow those if you want. Or if you're not on social media, good for you.
Yeah, more power to you.
More power to you. Avoid that shit like the plague.
Right. Anything that you hear that comes off of the internet is poison.
It's true.
Everything.
Even this. Especially this.
Yeah.
Even stuff that's made by people who are really good and have good ideas about things.
Right.
And are saying positive things that could help you in your life. Poison.
Poison. Poison.
Yep.
No.
You should go ahead and follow us on your Apple podcast.
Sure.
It's not follow, it's subscribe there. Go ahead and do that on your Apple podcast app. Subscribe to our feed. Maybe leave us a rating. I never checked those, so I don't know how well we're rated.
Because frankly, we don't care about your opinion.
We don't care. That's obvious. You've listened this far.
Yeah. I hope you haven't missed that.
We're also on Libsyn's, the podcast source, an app you can download from an app store. And
on the internet.
You'll do that. So poison. Thank you very much for listening to another episode of the Bronze Metalist Podcast. I'm Kale.
I'm OJ.
Congratulations.